Welcome to another adventure of the Exploring Club, Silly Gooses only.
It's a real big deal. We moved to Albania.
The Banes.
So it was 3 days of travel and 2 years of preparation.
The travel was easier.
Yeah. So we were lucky enough to have all of our parents together to have a little last supper.
Last supper. Stuff all the bags in the back of the car.
Yeah, we ended up with 4 large suitcases.
2 backpacks and a kitty.
Yep.
And thank you to my parents for taking us all the way to Chicago and hanging out with us and getting us to the airport.
So Chicago was, 6 hours?
Yeah, a little under 6 hours. It became 6 hours at the end. Only inside joke.
But Panda did really well in the backpack. We kept her in the backpack most of the time. I think it was...
I think Panda had the most relaxed travel of all of us.
And we were just only stressed about her. Mm-hmm. So she proved us wrong. We set up all of her kind of travel amenities. She had just as many amenities as I did, I think, en route.
Probably. She's very curious about everything as she is.
A word to the wise, there are ingredients in regular kitty litter that are detected as yes, I said the word because I'm out of the airport. Bomb-related ingredients. So I got us soy kitty litter.
Yep.
And she used it.
She used it, yep. Yeah, she used it at the place we were staying at.
At the hotel.
Oh, finally got our papers that were supposed to be delivered, and that we went down for like 8 straight hours to try to help them find them, and then ultimately I told them I wasn't leaving at 4:30 a.m. until they found them, and they were right inside the office.
Yeah. So, a little recap of what happens with animals is you have to get a vet appointment and a certification sent into the USDA within 10 days of travel. That certification needs to be signed, stamped, whatever, by the USDA, and then you have to bring that with you to the airport for travel. Well, because we were gonna be traveling like most people do, outside of their town, we had that stamped certificate FedExed to our hotel, and they had received it 5 days in advance. So we knew that they had it already because there are plenty of situations we've heard about where people don't receive it until the night before or the day of travel. And it's like, well, we're not, gonna be waiting in Albert Lea. We have to get there.
Yeah.
So they did have it. I called and made sure they had it, but it was just finding the right person to find the envelope once we got to the hotel, which was...
Yep. Always fun, always fun. And thank you to my parents for sticking around, of course, in true Philip fashion. We got there too early to check in.
Yeah, but we really wanted to make sure that everything was going to be set with Panda. Again, we've just heard too many horror stories about, this, that, or the other reason, it mostly being just dependent on the actual person that you get at the gate, whether or not you're good to go or you're not. And Panda was more than good to go. This gentleman was super helpful.
He was awesome.
And Panda did really well. And he had a kitty named...
Can't remember.
It was a black cat.
Yeah, can't remember the name. But he was the guy who checked us in and the guy who got us on the plane. So we were worried about the wait. I was worried about the weight, and
then having too many bags.
And he just looked at the weight, and he was like, yep, cool, good to go.
Yep, he was more worried about the bags, so we did scrimp down. I had one kind of just a reusable tote that we had some extras in, and we just crammed everything into the suitcase and into our backpack, and we were set.
We were rolling.
So this first leg of the trip, flying-wise, was 8.5 hours from Chicago to Vienna. We booked a very back row, with Panda, and actually I had heard another person talking that had a dog to the gentleman that helped check us in at the gate, and she had to move because they have what did I say it was? 5 row minimum or something between animals?
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean, we had to do it online and we picked that out. But we were lucky because I think we were a couple of the only rows that had 3, and I assume, or a free seat, and I assume part of that was because we had Panda.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a pretty full flight. Very comfortable seats.
Very nice. Austrian hour was great.
Yeah, we've not flown Austrian before, and it was very comfortable, and everyone was very nice. Seats, space was very nice. I don't think that there was airflow. There was no individual like controlled airflow thing above you.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, every other flight I've always noticed, it's really stuffy or it's really
Flight was
cold,
comfortable.
and it was very comfortable the whole time, so that was wonderful. I had Panda underneath my feet for, I'd say, 2/3 of it, and then towards the last 2 hours, we did bring her bag up and put it on the
seat and just had her hang out.
Yep, just had her hanging out
in the bag
between. Yeah, just between us. She'd get a little nervous and like a little ducky, like she was gonna jump out. So then we'd shut it, then she'd call back down.
Yeah. She's better in a more confined space when there's too many things going on. She's just too curious, so she gets kind of like, "What's going on? Where are we at?
What's going on?" Yeah.
Oh, we're flying through the air in a rocket ship. Don't think about it too much. Nobody else does.
Don't think about it. It'll overwhelm you. Trust your mother.
A bunch of gas underneath us.
Yeah. But yeah, so we left around 4:30.
Yep.
In the afternoon in Chicago. Yeah, it was a very smooth flight.
Yep. Yeah, I think it went really well.
Yeah, I don't really know if there's any other mentionables about the flight situation.
No, I think it was comfortable. We got food, and the food was pretty good. Can't remember. We both ended up getting noodles?
Yeah, I think it's coming up. We both got pesto.
Yeah, it was either chicken or pesto noodles, which both seemed like a good option. But yeah, I think, there was a lot of movement. I mean, it was probably the most movement I've had on an international flight. There's people literally going up and down the whole time.
Yeah, we had a couple small kids in our section, and so they were constantly kind of up and moving around in the bathroom area, back by the stewardess kind of area.
Yeah, a decent amount of
bobbing
babies
around
too.
With the kids. But yeah, I would say Panda did not make a peep.
No, I think
if anything, we just kept checking on her because we're like, why are you so quiet?
Yeah, she was really quiet, and she was only a little noisy for the first few minutes of the drive on the way to Chicago. So she's traveled before. She's never flown, but she's traveled 28 hours in a car with me before to Albert Lea from California. So she's not a traveler, but she's probably like, hey, Dad, you keep moving me like halfway around the world, like
what are we doing here?
Every 5 years. So
I think it's just like for all of us, it wasn't necessarily any point was treacherous. Well, we'll get to that, but treacherous. It's that by the time you get done with not sleeping for a full overnight and then you just keep going the next day.
Yeah,
I think you get just a little strung out, and I think she certainly had that experience too, where you just get a little.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty tired. I mean, you're worried about if things are all going to go right, and then they ultimately do, and you're still just exhausted like any other plane trip.
Yeah, strung out. Yeah. So time travel is crazy. You have the sunset and you have the sun come up within not even 6 hours or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the flight attendants were super nice and friendly and not overzealous or, it was just the right amount of.
Besides the time I asked him about the chocolate cake, and it clearly had like raspberry on it, and she's like, well, just don't eat it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I only took a very small bite. I didn't expect chocolate cake to have raspberry in it. And so,
in between, it wasn't like on the outside. It was like that little shiny layer was some sort of jam. And someone was excited to eat it.
Yeah, so.
Secrets revealed.
There's Panda.
Yeah, she did really good. I'm very proud of her. Kept trying to get her to drink a little bit of water.
Drink, eat water, go to the bathroom during the whole plane trip, which I figured wouldn't be the case, was not something that worked.
Yeah.
Because she's just kind of like, nope, we're gonna relax and chill, which is what she does at home anyway. I mean, she lays around most of the day and then gets up and goes to the bathroom and eats occasionally, but very occasionally.
Yeah.
So she just kind of stuck to the plan, but yeah, I think it was a longer trip because you have a pet with. Now we're flying into Vienna, and that was a beautiful city to fly into. Definitely a city we want to visit.
Yes, so our layover was only a little over an hour.
It was an hour and 55 minutes, but when you have, most planes is like 30 to 40 minutes you're boarding in advance, so it really wasn't that long. It was about an hour.
And we were in the back of our plane.
Yep. Which was a pretty big plane, ultimately. There's a lot of people getting on and off.
Getting around the airport was very easy. I think we only had to go
a couple letters, but I don't remember where we ended up landing, but it was only a couple letters over, and it was maybe a 5 to 7 minute walk, so that was nice, especially because we had a lot of bags. And then once we got hunkered down, there was really nice amenities as usual.
Very pleased to be back in European public restrooms.
Yep.
Floor to ceiling doors, very clean, hooks and places to put your stuff everywhere. There is nothing like a European public restroom.
Yeah, I was even able to take Panda into the guy's bathroom and put the kitty litter out and stuff like that, but again, she was not having it, so.
She's like, I know we're not home, so I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Basically, it was almost like me trying to walk around and find her a bathroom and other places, and I was like, this is not totally worth it. Her most hated part was when she was riding in the backpack, just because she was getting bounced around. She didn't mind being in the backpack when it was laying down. Our next plane was a walk-on and walk-off plane, which was fine in some regards, but everybody was kind of working on getting on the plane because it was morning there, and obviously they were taking a morning trip to the Bains, and they were probably getting ready to start their day.
Yes, so this flight was only going to be an hour
and a half.
20, yep. So we knew it was going to be short. So I had kind of anticipated, just with the kind of the landscape of where we were flying over and flying into, with there being mountains in Tirana or mountains in Albania, that we would probably hit a little bit of turbulence. That's an understatement.
Yeah, we hit some turbulence.
Go ahead and downplay it. I'm
not downplaying. I'm just saying it wasn't like the whole flight. It was just kind of coming in because it was super windy where we were at.
The last 15 minutes or so was, I've experienced not super fun turbulence. This was jarring. And I tried to hold it together. Panda did end up throwing up a little bit, and there was a teenager behind us throwing up, and... Yeah,
did Panda throw up? She threw up when we were in the car?
No, she threw up.
She threw up in the plane?
Right at the plane.
Yeah.
It was like I said, it was the last 15 minutes, there were all these low clouds, and it was just jostling us around.
Yeah, it just took a long time to get out of the clouds. Like, we'd go through the different layers, and you just kept hitting clouds after clouds after clouds. Yeah. So it was pretty stormy. That whole first week here was super windy. Just like
clapped.
It's been windy everywhere. So
everybody clapped on the arrival. So, and then we watched the news, and there were a bunch of flights right around the same time, right following our flight, and even ferries that were either detoured or couldn't like the ferry couldn't
come into port.
A bunch of flights got rerouted to Italy, like a bunch of stuff was happening, so it was kind of wild wind stuff that was happening.
And then we got our luggage, which took a little bit of time because I had to get a cart. We had no change to get a cart, so I had to figure out how to get change. And then our gentleman took us to our first day, so what was it, about a 2.5 hour trip?
Yeah.
So we got to see part of the Albanian countryside, more the kind of, what we'll say, outer metro areas, kind of linked.
Yep, so the Tirana Airport is like 20 minutes, 15 minutes outside of Tirana, and then the way that we went to get to Vlore, you don't actually have to drive right through Tirana. So we were just on the outskirts of Tirana, only saw, basically the roundabout to get into it, and then really no big towns.
No.
We drove close to Durrës, but that was it.
Yeah, and around Vlore and a couple others. It was an alright ride. I think we were both pretty cashed at that point. I mean, I think exhausted.
You're totally wrecked, and then you're in a foreign space with someone that you don't know who's driving, and you're zipping pretty quick down the highway. And I don't get motion sickness, but I was just you're just a little nauseated from being
exhausted. Yeah. And he didn't really speak any English. He's like the main person who we've had trouble speaking English with since we've been here.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, thanks for sending that guy. To be honest, we've had very little issues with people speaking English, so it was like, really? Which is kind of part and parcel with the people that we hooked up our Airbnb with, ultimately. It was a good precursor, I would say. But yeah, he was nice enough. He had to call someone to translate us asking to go to the bathroom halfway through. But then we got into Vlore, and I think we started feeling a lot better.
Yeah, yep. Yes, so we came in, now of course we're familiar with this area, but came into kind of the close to downtown Lungomare area, and then came in on the parallel street just back from the Lungomare to get to our Airbnb. And he of course helped us unload all of our bags, and then the gal that helped check us into our Airbnb, she actually helped schlep a couple bags, so we did it all in one.
Yeah, yep, we got it all up into the first kind of semi-permanent stay, 6-7 days, and then we just were cashed out. We were pretty exhausted by that point, so it was nice to just finally get there and kind of take a sigh of relief and say, hey, we're here, and
crap is here, we're here, Kitty's here.
Enjoy the sea view and just kind of relax and say, all right, we made it, and now we'll start enjoying it.
Start exploring.
Yep.
Yeah, so we went and got food right away, and had our first little Nama experience.
Yeah, it was very good.
Which we're very excited that we get to go back to Nama now all the time.
Yep, all the time.
So follow along for our adventures. We're doing daily vlogs right now on our Facebook and Instagram pages, and we got some adventures to other countries planned as well.
Coming up, other adventures within Albania, but yeah, until next time, Silly Gooses only.